Prince Harry's final hurrah, Duke arrives in Edinburgh to begin one of his last round of engagements as a working royal before Megxit on March 31. Prince Harry has arrived back in the UK to host a sustainable travel conference in his first visit to Britain since announcing he was quitting as a senior royal in January. He was pictured this evening arriving at Edinburgh Waverley Station, sporting a black jacket and cap. The Duke of Sussex will host a summit tomorrow for Travellist, where he is expected to unveil a new holiday scheme with a scoring system to help tourists pick environmentally friendly flights. Meghan Markle will appear in London with her husband for an awards ceremony for sick and injured military personnel on March 5, but it is unclear if she and baby Archie are flying over with Harry or are still in Canada. Prince William and Kate Middleton tonight attended the theatre in London, and it is not yet clear whether or not there are any plans for Harry to meet with his brother and sister-in-law in the coming days. Harry wants the Travellist project to bring more transparency around carbon emissions for individual flights and make holidays as eco-friendly as possible. His involvement was announced last year as the Sussexes were criticized for using private jets despite regularly flaunting their eco-credentials. This included 4 trips in just 11 days in August. The Duke and Duchess were also said to have flown into Florida for a J.P. Morgan conference in Miami on February 6 on the bank's private jet from Vancouver. In Edinburgh, Harry will host a summit with about 100 people from the tourism and travel industry to test out plans for scoring in accommodation, aviation and travel experiences. The trip will be in addition to 6 other planned engagements the couple have in Britain over a 2-week period as they prepare to step down as senior royals. The palace has been asked whether Harry is already back in the UK and how he travelled from Canada. Harry and Meghan are closing their Buckingham Palace office, making up to 15 members of staff redundant, but a small team will continue to work on Travellist. Former press officer James Holt and former Assistant Private Secretary Heather Wong, a long-serving policy advisor to Harry, will both be on the staff. The workers will be employed privately in London to mastermind the Travellist initiative for Harry and will be operating separately from the royal household. When Harry launched Travellist in Amsterdam last September, he defended his repeated use of private jets, claiming he needs them for his family's safety. He had been accused of hypocrisy for using charter flights 6 times over the summer while urging the public to cut their carbon footprint. Speaking at the event, he refused to apologize for private flights to Italy, France, and Spain, saying, "I spend 99% of my life traveling the world by commercial. Occasionally there needs to be an opportunity to fly privately, based on a unique circumstance to ensure that my family are safe. It's as simple as that. For me it's about balance. It's not a decision I would want to take, but if I have to do that, I will ensure that I balance out the impact that I have." Despite his comments, analysis at the time of Harry and Meghan's known flights since their wedding in May 2018 showed 6 of the 10 return trips they took were by private jet, 60% of the total. Harry dismissed concerns over his carbon footprint by insisting that he offsets his emissions by donating to renewable energy incentives and planting trees. Sir Elton John said he did this on the Prince's behalf when he provided a private plane to fly him and Meghan to his home in the south of France last August. The Prince said, "I've always offset my CO2. What is offsetting CO2? So many people out there hear about it but don't know about it. In my mind, it's the right thing to do. We need to make it cool. But it can't just be a ticking the box exercise. Somehow we have to connect people to where that little bit of extra money is actually going. The moment you have that connection, you feel like you have a bigger purpose in life, you can actually see the difference you are making." Harry added at the time, "I've learned that we cannot dismiss the idea of trying to do something, just because we can't do everything. We can all do better. And while no one is perfect, we are all responsible for our own individual impact." One trip last July saw the 6th in line to the throne fly on a private jet to Sicily to deliver a speech at Google Camp. He also took holidays to Ibiza and Nice last August with his wife and son that produced 82 tons of CO2. That is the equivalent of the emissions from 17 cars over a whole year. Sir Elton and other celebrities weighed in to defend the royal couple at the time, saying private jets were their best option in terms of privacy and security. However, the same month saw the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge photographed flying with their children on a budget flight from Norfolk to Scotland. The Sussexes also made several transatlantic crossings between Canada and the UK in January at an expected cost of £250,000. Decisions about the most effective, economical and safe way to travel are taken by a Royal Visits Committee. But figures from accounts published last June show the royal household's carbon emissions due to business travel almost doubled in 2018. An aide said last September that Harry had merely been using a figure of speech when he cited the 99% figure. Sources also stressed the list of flights analyzed wasn't exhaustive and some undocumented private travel would have been taken commercially. Harry's Travelist project has brought together some of the biggest names in the industry: Booking.com, Trip, Skyscanner, TripAdvisor and Visa, and aims to make the future of travel more sustainable. The number of global trips has more than doubled since 2008 and is expected to reach 1.8 billion by 2030. During his visit to the UK next month, Harry will be teaming up with Jon Bon Jovi to make a charity record with proceeds going towards the Duke's Invictus Games Foundation. Harry will attend the recording of Unbroken at Abbey Road Studios in northwest London on February 28. He and wife Meghan are expected to attend the Invictus Games in The Hague in May, after their post-royal life begins on March 31. Bon Jovi wrote Unbroken to highlight the plight of veterans living with post-traumatic stress disorder. Both his parents served in the U.S. Marine Corps. Harry will watch the choir perform with Bon Jovi. If he could be persuaded to sing, he would be following in the footsteps of his older brother.